2021 induction for the Rogers Mountaineer Athletic Hall of Fame. This is our 19th class to be inducted. This is the first year that we've done this in this facility, and we're extremely excited to be here and to have all of you with us tonight. Really excited to do this. So we always, and we're going to get our PowerPoint fixed here in a minute, but it'll just keep scrolling for now. So one of the things that we always do is we always recognize all of our current members of the Mountie Hall of Fame. So if you're a current member of the Mountie Hall of Fame, will you please stand and be recognized? If I did my count right, we're just shy of 100 members in our Hall of Fame, which is a great thing. I do at this time, we always have a moment of silence for Hall of Fame members that we have lost, and we have actually lost 3 this year. We lost Steve Roberts, Jerry Ferguson, and Billy Joe Jones. So if we could have a moment of silence for them, please. Thank you. I want to recognize at this time, it takes a group of people to run this Hall of Fame, and we do have a board of directors, and I believe all of us are wearing these Mountie blue polos, and so if you're a Mountie Hall of Fame board member, just give a little wave. I know some are still out in the lobby doing this. Well, let's give all of them a hand. They do a great job. We do have sponsors for this event. They're probably scrolling through there, and so we sure appreciate our sponsors. And we don't need a lot of money to run this organization, but it does take a little bit to put this on. And you'll also see anybody in a Hall of Fame shirt. If you will take donations, whatever you want to give, we're sure we'll take it. And so to help us offset the cost, we actually do kind of have a capital expense this year that we need to take care of. Before you leave, if you haven't already seen it out in the lobby, is our Mountie Hall of Fame kiosk. Of course, it runs on computer software, and so it is time for us to upgrade our software, which costs some money. That's kind of an expense that's a little out of the ordinary for us. So we would be more than happy to take any donations that we can get for that cause. I do want to thank the students and the media team here at the high school that helped us with that kiosk. We sure couldn't do it without them, I promise you. It wouldn't be me figuring that stuff out. So they do a great job helping us. I want to recognize and thank Keith Kilgore, who is our athletic director for the Rogers School District. And make sure we recognize him. I didn't notice Dr. Berry here tonight. Didn't see him come in. And then also want to give a special recognition to Coach Paul Wilson, who is over there getting the football game ready. He is the on-site athletic director here at Rogers High, and we couldn't do what we do without him. The logistics that run through the school to setting all this up, he just does a great job and is so helpful for us. I do see Mitch Lockhart. Do we have any other school board members? So Mitch Lockhart, wave. Mitch, appreciate you being here. Okay, I think with that, we're ready to go. Let's induct this class. So our first inductee tonight is going to be Doug Gibson, and he's going to be presented by Coach Tom Woodruff.
Doug Gibson was an exceptional pitcher at Rogers High School when he played for the Rogers Mountaineers. He was always listened to coaches. He was always sought improvement, self-improvement, led by example, and he encouraged his teammates. To this day, he still leads in several categories in pitching. For example, in '95, he struck out 80. From '93 to '95, 120 batters. He had an ERA of 1.56. Now, he had a good fastball, but I really thought his specialty was his, what I call Piggly Wiggly pitch. That Piggly Wiggly pitch, you know, batters can catch up to fastballs, but after a while, that ball would come in, and then all of a sudden, and the batters would go. All you would hear is just swishes, air. And I thought that brought him a lot of fame. Doug was a 3-year letterman and was selected as an all-star, all-state player. And get this, and he was a pitcher in the all-star game. He pitched 4 innings, and there's only 12 outs in 4 innings. He struck out 10. There's that Piggly Wiggly. Comes in there. Nothing but air. Nothing but air. Doug went on to play for the West Ark Community College baseball team. Ended up at the University of Arkansas Little Rock Trojans. He graduated and came back and was a graduate assistant for Norman Bryant at the University of Arkansas, which led him to professional ball for the River City Rascals. I think the golden thread, as I look at Doug today, is a very successful realtor. But looking back at his baseball career and his professional career today, the golden thread, as I see it, is he never sought a lot of fanfare and recognition. He was successful behind the scenes. And I loved his Piggly Wiggly pitch. But I love Doug Gibson more as a person. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Gibson.
Thank you. I actually didn't know it ever had a name, so I learned something new. Thank you for the generous introduction, Coach. You are to be commended for that. I would like to recognize my family that are here tonight. They're all sitting right down here. Thank you all for all your love and support. I couldn't be here without you guys, so thank you very much. I'm extremely honored to be a part of this exclusive group of Rogers Mountains. And congratulations to everybody else in this class as well. Growing up in Rogers, I was exposed to so many great coaches, teachers, mentors, who have taught me the value of hard work, commitment, toughness, sacrifice, team effort, and how to compete and never give up. I would like to take this time to thank the following people for their part in my success on and off the field. Now listen up. This is one heck of a list. Gary Townsend, my first pitching coach. I don't know if Gary's here tonight, but very first pitching coach. And I may have fell in love with baseball at Townsend's barbershop when I was a little boy. Mary Bryant, Ann Fry, I know she's here tonight. Benny Bridwell, Jack Thompson, Larry Nelson, Bob Looney, Scott Smith, Johnny Lester, Bob White, Gerald Walsh, Randall Backus, Tom Olson, believe it or not, he was one hell of a pitcher, and he taught me a lot about pitching. Mike Jones, Rick Lisi, Don Phillips, Jim White. One of the first people to call me after it was announced that this year's group of inductees. Alan Spencer, football crew's right here, I recognize him. Alan Spencer, Charlie Cooper, Tom Williams, Bob Taylor, and Coach Tom Woodruff. Again, I am honored and proud to be from Rogers, and I'm proud to be a Rogers Mountain. So, go Mountains. Thank you.
I got a text today, Doug, before we jump to our next inductee from Matt Nelson. He said, Brian, if you could, please say this. He couldn't be here. He's on a trip with Nate and his mother. But Doug is one of the most dominant players in Mountain baseball history. He was as competitive as anyone I've ever seen at the high school level, and is one of the original players that contributed to giving Rogers High School baseball the reputation that it has. Congratulations on the well-deserved honors. That's Coach Nelson. All right. I did, as I was sitting here, Dr. Valines, Mr. Davis, Jim Davis from admin, Dr. Valines is the high school principal here. Appreciate having you guys here. Our next inductee is probably needs no introduction to this group. It is Morgan Hook Cole, and she will be presented by Coach Preston Hurley.
Thank you, good evening, and to all our inductees tonight, I do want to say congratulations, and I consider it an honor to be down here with such an elite class. To the Hall of Famer that has special significance to me, Miss Morgan Hook Cole. I want to read a few things about her and then just comment briefly, but I consider her one of the greatest players that's ever worn a Mountaineer jersey. I told our players, I got a chance to introduce her to a lot of our players earlier this evening, and you know, Morgan set the standard for what is possible around here, but one of the things that I wanted them, you know, to know and see and hear from her is the level that we work to try to achieve on a daily basis and on a yearly basis, and the standard by which we measure ourselves from comes from the levels that we reached while Morgan was here. Morgan accomplished so much on the court. I know a lot of it is in that program there, from a two-time Gatorade Player of the Year. My assistant and I were talking earlier today, I only know of one other female athlete, basketball player in the state that's done that, a kid named Jersey Wolfenberger that's going to play at Arkansas, and Morgan Hook. She won it back-to-back years Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Arkansas. She was Miss Basketball from the Democrat Gazette. She was a three-time All-State. She was all-tournament in every team she ever played in, and any tournament she ever played in. She was an amazing player. She broke all of our scoring records, all of our assist records. I think one of the ones that she's probably as much proud of as anything is she still holds a record for this, what I would consider close to a perfect game for a pitcher, but she had 11 assists and 0 turnovers in a game one time in her junior year, and she would do amazing things. But one of the coolest things about her was she had a way, it was never about her. My assistant who played with her reminded me today, she said, Coach, one of the neatest things I can say about Morgan, it was never about her. If she got the scholarship or something like that, that was all just a byproduct of things. But she loved playing the game, and she wanted to win a championship. And Morgan, on a daily basis, set out and raised the level of everybody around her. I'll be honest with you, Morgan, I've never had a player that made me want to be better. I never wanted to let you down. I wanted to try to get us on the level where we can win it, because I knew you had the ability to take us there. Morgan is second to none in terms of playing accomplishments. I've listed a lot of them. But one of the things that I would say about her is she transcended basketball, and she was one of the most popular kids on campus because of her personality and her ability to connect with people. My son grew up idolizing her. And one of the neat things I was telling our players earlier, we have young girls that would come to our games wearing 10 screened on their jersey. She had that kind of impact on people. My son wore number 10 his entire career. He wanted to be Morgan Hook. I just thought that was kind of neat the way she transcended, male or female, it didn't matter. I also think it's important for our players to see another elite female athlete going into this Hall of Fame. And I'm so proud that Morgan's blazing another trail for that. Her accomplishments alone, I think, make her qualified. I just spoke a little bit about her as a person, and I would just say this before I bring her up. The best ones at anything change things. It's never the same when they're gone. The standard has changed. It is never the same. I would say Morgan is one of those that had that type of impact. She raised the level of what's possible around here and our expectations. I'm forever grateful and will consider it a blessing to coach her. And Morgan, thank you for all you gave to elevate our program and to make Lady Mountain basketball cool. So without further ado, Miss Morgan Hook Cole.
Thank you, Coach, for all of that and the introduction and stuff. I'll get to you later. This is just crazy. I had a speech in my head because if anybody knows me, I just pretty much kind of go with the flow. And then when you start talking, I was like, I don't really even know if I'm going to say any of that. When I was in 4th grade, I think, I became his water girl. When, I don't know if it was for my brothers, I think it was when my brother was in high school. And that's when I was like, this is like my dream. I want to be a Lady Mountie. I want to play for Coach Early. I want the crowd behind me. I just want all of that. It was just a dream for me. And so at a young age, Coach Early saw something in me and started to really invest and push me. I remember coming to just mini Mountie camps, and it was always, he tried to get me out of my comfort zone. And at the time, I really didn't like it. But I knew what he was doing, and I knew he was really trying to push me, and he saw the potential in me. And so, with that being said, there's a lot of different people that kind of came to help me through this whole entire thing. My teammates, and a lot of them were up there, which makes me kind of want to cry. I'm not even a crier. It's just really cool to see. It's been, what, I'm in high school for 11 years, and they still care, I guess. I don't know. So it's really cool to see you guys, because you don't even know. I came to practice every day because of all of you. You pushed me, you're my best friends. We were, Coach Early could tell you guys, we were like the closest senior group you've ever had ever. And they just made me want to be better because I wanted them to be the best that they could be, so it pushed me. So then they are cool. They're all sitting up there if you guys want to talk to them. And then my family, of course, they're all here. From a young age, it was always competition between all of my sister and my brother playing basketball out in the driveway. My dad wanted us to go out and play all the time. And then they got too cool and too old, and then I had to just kind of make up games myself. But in reality, I have Coach Raines and Coach Early to thank, because Coach Raines, I know probably most of you guys know her, and she pushed. She didn't let me settle. When I played for her in junior high, and she did not let me settle. She did not let me kind of sit back and relax because it was junior high basketball. It was constant with Coach Raines, and she pushed me to be better, and because she knew what was expected with Coach Early. So thank you, Coach Raines, for everything that you did. And then Coach Early, he was very passionate about very passionate coach, and that's, I think, what I needed, because I just kind of like my speech, I just kind of wing things, and so when I got around him, it was like, okay, he means business. I know exactly what he needs from me, and I know exactly what I need to do for this team to be successful. So thank you, Coach, for making me get outside of my comfort zone every single day. I remember many practices where I felt embarrassed and stuff because he pushed me pretty hard. So I definitely wouldn't have been where I was without Coach Early and all the investment that he had in me. So thank you to everybody that was involved and that helped push me to get me to play a college sport that kind of changed my life forever. So once again, thank you guys. And also for all of you current Mounties, I hope to see you up here one day. Thank you.
Okay, our next inductee knows this guy. Some of us know him in different ways, from a principal and disciplinarian, and some of us know him as a coach. And so our next inductee is Mark Kruger, and he'll be presented by his son, Kim.
The next inductee doesn't need a lot of introduction. There's a lot of you that know him. There's a lot of you in the crowd, at least several of the inductees that have spent some time in his office. However, I'd like to tell you some things about him. He came to Rogers in 1973 as a community school recreation director. There he implemented the citywide recreation programs for youth and adults that we still see today. When he arrived in Rogers, there had been no athletics for girls since the 1950s. He saw a need and worked with the administration, parents, and volunteers to initiate the first intramural programs at night for girls, and then a full-blown athletic program for them. In order to make this work, he ended up coaching basketball, volleyball, track, and tennis. After 1 year, he gave over everything but volleyball and both the girls and boys tennis programs. He was successful in all of these, winning several district and conference championships. He was also instrumental in obtaining the first girls athletic scholarship in school history. Later, he moved out of the recreation arena and into administration. He was charged with opening the first attendance office at Rogers High School. After coaching, he was still not far removed from athletics. He led pep rallies and was later placed in charge of homecoming, color day, and graduation ceremonies. Both homecoming and color day were particularly interesting for him. He did everything from rolling out the biscuit on a wet field for the homecoming court to process across, to providing coats and ties to the guys that did not have dress clothing for pictures, assemblies, and the parade. Along with his administrative duties, he often counseled students, escorted injured students to the hospital, attended hundreds of ball games, plays, and concerts. His priority as an administrator was to ensure an environment in which teachers could teach, all students could participate in school, athletics, and other school activities, and feel safe. While handling all of these responsibilities, he was also serving the community. He served on the founding committee for what now is the Northwest Arkansas Community College, served for over 20 years on the Chamber of Commerce Education Committee, served for over 20 years on the Rogers United Way, 4 years as a treasurer. He served on the foundation board for the Adult Development Center, which is now Open Avenues, served as a liaison between NWAC and Rogers High School, securing classrooms and other facilities for instructions. He volunteered for over 15 years on Whitey's Chicken Crew, raising funds for Rogers School System athletic programs. When the Rogers Bonnier Hall of Fame disappeared for 3 years, with help of others in the community, he worked with the school administration to reactivate the organization and has served on the board of directors since that time. In his 33 years on the City Council of Rogers, he has served in transportation, Main Street Rogers, the library board, the Museum Board, the Airport Commission, Planning Commission, and the Rogers Advertising and Promotions Commission since 2002, and in 2011 he was elected as the chairman of that committee and is still serving in that position. I am proud to introduce the next inductee, my dad, Mark Kruger.
Thank you, Kip. Well, I tell you what, following these two athletes is a tough job. I never played. I just stretched out regularly. First of all, I'd like to thank the committee for selecting me for induction and to congratulate the other inductees. Then, thanks to David Roller for nominating me. David, if you're here, you're a true and loyal friend, and I appreciate you. I'd like to thank coaches Cooper, Spencer, Winton, White, Hayes, Early, and Ephers for their loyalty and support in writing letters for me to be here today. It's an honor for me to be mentioned in the same category with Dr. King, Whitey Smith, Nelma Williams, and Billy Sue Hankins. There are not a lot of people in the Distinguished Service category. I was fortunate when I came to Rogers that Grill Eagle and David Gates were willing to take a chance on me and a chance on the new program, that community school recreation program that my son mentioned. It didn't go exactly as planned because I drifted in girls' athletics. With the help of people like Virginia Mosevnik, Guy Cable, and Jenny B. Sheets, we developed a program that's grown into a very successful program today, and I'm thrilled to see these young ladies up here being a part of all this. For the coaches in the group, I'll say this, my coaching experience was different from y'all's, I'm sure. But until you had crammed 15 girls into the back of Chevy Suburban and driven across the state with them squealing and connecting the dots in the ceiling acoustics in your vehicle while you're trying to get down the road, you've missed a coaching experience. Also, if you've never coached a sport that had no feeder program, no junior high program, and many of your athletes have never even seen the sport played before, you've missed a coaching experience. I have to thank Dr. King and Mr. Lingle for moving me into the administration, Bill Stringer for recognizing my strengths and weaknesses and allowing me to fill my role. And at this point, I want to recognize Coach Charlie Cooper. Now, Coach Cooper, if you had knee surgery, I won't make a stand, but raise your hand. Charlie and his staff are the best part of my tenure here as far as being a part of the entire school. They attended plays and concerts, as well as ball games, and interacted with the faculty and staff. They had representatives at all our meetings, all our social gatherings, and made sure that the kids knew they were part of the school and here to interact and help them whether they were an athlete or not. Also, Coach Cooper, again, raise your hand. Coach Cooper is the founding father of this organization. He needs to be recognized. It was his idea for this Athletic Hall of Fame, and he worked with the administration and others to get it started. And here we are 19 years later. Coach Cooper, thank you. Thank Whitey Smith, Jim Woodruff, Billy Sue Hankins, Rick Stocker, and Dr. Dar for working with me to resurrect this Hall of Fame after it had been defunct for 3 years. Also, I want to thank Mindy Brown for her help with Homecoming and Color Day, and Marcia Hudson for her help with graduation. I want to thank John St. Pierre, Raymond Burns, Steve Womack and Greg Hines for their help and leadership. I want to thank the students, parents, teachers, coaches, and athletes that I've had the pleasure of working with for making this moment possible. And then I want to thank my family. They have given up a lot for me to spend the time doing what I have accomplished. My sons have missed a lot of dad time, and they may tell you that's a good thing, I'm not sure. But my wife certainly has, and my wife Ann has been the rock of our family, staying home, keeping the home fires burning, and getting everything done to make sure I can go out and do whatever I felt like I needed to do. Thank you, dear. Again, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee. I especially want to thank Brian, the president, and Matt, our vice president. They carry the load. I'm leading the board of this organization in December, and it's a great feeling to know you're leading a board led by 2 U.S. Air Force Academy graduates, and they're to be saluted, and I appreciate it. With that said, I am blessed, I am humbled, and I so much appreciate this school, this organization, and all of you. Go Mavericks!
Our next 2 inductees, it's kind of just worked out this way because of the alphabetical order, but they're kind of unique in a way that Ike Skaggs, they are part of a father-son combo into the Hall of Fame, and we have 6 of those, including a father-daughter, and Ike is the son of William Snowball Skaggs, who is a member of this Hall of Fame for the 1936 state championship team. And Scott Swerrington down there is the son of David Swerrington, who is a member of this Hall of Fame. And so they round out 6, if I'm going to try to go by memory here. But we have Larry and Nate Nelson. We have Blackie and John Bond. We have Kermit and Margaret Robinson Womack. And then we have Whitey and Tim Smith, and I think that's our grand total of father-son combo. So to have 2 of those in this class is a really unique thing about this induction class. So presenting Ike Skaggs will be John Collis.
I got a phone call, and this guy on the other end of the line said, "John," he said, "this is Ike Skaggs." I said, "I haven't seen you, heard from you in a long time." He goes, "I got a call from Mitchell Hankins, and they said I was in the Hall of Fame." And I said, "Well, golly, you should have been there a lot more before I was, because you was in front of me and you was always hiking the ball." And I got to thinking back, I said, when's the first time I ever met him? This is 9th grade. Got up to the line, run a play, and I looked at him and I said, "Just who are you?" He said, "My name is Ike Skaggs, I'm the center, and I'm the head of the whole team, the O-line." He said, "Whatever you want the O-line to do, you go through me." I said, "All right." I said, "I'm the quarterback, I call the plays, and I'll tell you when I can call." Ever since then, we didn't have any problems. But he was always out there in front. He was always carrying, the team. He was always first to the line and running wind sprints. There just wasn't any stopping that guy. There wasn't no quit at all. And I heard his son told me, he said he put a sign on his wall and said 20% ability, 90% desire. And that's right. I mean, there's so many of y'all that's been wore blue, mounting shirt or whatever. You played, you put blood out there on the field. You know what you did because you liked it. You just liked it. The pay wasn't all that good. But Ike was a leader on our team. he scored, you know, he was a letterman in football, basketball, track. He was even in baseball, Rogers Town team, even semi-pro. You know, I remember one time we were playing at Pryor, Oklahoma, and we were just about to get deep. We only had a few, I think we were like 4 or 5 yards to the goal line there when we scored. We stopped him. And so I thought I called the play, and Coach Bond said he called the play, so he had to call it. And so we called a quarterback sneak. All of a sudden, I've never seen so much green in all my life that I've run. I wasn't even running very fast. And I asked Ike, I said, well, what do you think about all that? He said, well, I blocked him. And he said, I got him on the ground, and I looked up, and he goes, damn, there goes Kiosk. Look at him run. But it was about his running ability. I didn't realize I was such a runner. His senior year, he ran the mile, which he won. I think it was a 4:47 or something like that, mile. Then he turned around and he ran an 8:80, won that. And then he ran a mile relay. And what I didn't realize, you're not supposed to try to pass people on the curve. Ike was running on the curve and he fell down on a mile relay. And he got back up. And they still won the mile relay. And we won a district by 1 point. And one of the players was over there, and he was kind of disheartened because he didn't score very many points for the team. And I looked at him, he goes, Winker, he said, do you realize that you won state, or you won district for our team? He said, how do you figure that? I only scored 1 point. He said, we were tied until you scored that 1 point, and that's when we won the district. I mean, and that just shows you who Ike is. He's a very humble man. Always has been. I think the world of him. He's a good guy, he really is. Then he went on to play football. He went out to Dodge City to play football, and that didn't work out too good. Couldn't get a full scholarship. So he came back and he played ball Southern Arkansas. He was a walk-on. His junior and senior year, he was co-captain for full scholarship. You know, I've seen him when I would quit a long time ago, but he never quit. He just never would quit. And we all got together over at David Benning's house for a little party, and we sat around and reminisced, and it was, you know, we were friends, always have been. Hadn't seen some of the guys for 50 years, but more than that, we were Mounties. And he went on to coach for 40 years. He married a beautiful woman, Kathy, and his son, Andy. They live over in Memphis, outside of Memphis there. But he was just a great man. A privilege for me and an honor for me to introduce him to him.
John told all my stories. Y'all give me about 5 seconds, 15 seconds, and I'll run back there and write another speech. Are y'all the Lady Mountains? Good for you. Let me tell you something you need to do. You need to listen to your coaches. Really. If you're not, you need to start. When I was in high school, we had a coach named Bob Brown. We weren't really great as a basketball team, but we did go to the state tournament for the first time in about 12 years, 10 or 12 years. I coached girls basketball the last 5 years of my 40-year career, and I coached boys basketball about 11, 12 years. You know, 2 years here, 3 years there, whatever. Every time that I went into a program, the first thing I put in was our high school shuffle offense if somebody got into a man defense on us, they were in trouble. And I got that from Coach Bob Brown. And I got our press. And I used our high school press with great success all the way through my coaching career in basketball. So please do yourself a favor, particularly if you're thinking about going into coaching, and listen to your coaches. And I wish you a good season. I hope you win them all this year. Lou Hope said, 10% of you won't remember 10% of what I say 10 minutes from now. And that probably includes me. I got a question. There's people ask me questions all the time. There are some people my age, and not just David Caldwell, but there's some people in Memphis. They come up to me and they see me with this old beat up cell phone. Do you text? You know, those of us have had a few more birthdays than the others. You know, I do, but I'm slow. You know, the reason I'm slow is because my teachers here at Rogers High School, I fought them completely because they always made us write complete sentences. And they always said stuff like, can't tell the difference between there, and there, or 2, and 2. And I'm like, holy cow. And then, you know, every time I get ready to open it up, I expect a red mark. You know, run on sentence. You know, paragraph, incomplete thoughts. So don't ask me if I text. I do. My thanks go to everyone who got me in the Hall of Fame. If you want to come up to me after it's over and ask me about it, I tell you all about it. It's a special story. But I really want to thank my coaches and my teammates. I don't know if you know this or not, because they don't have banners. I'm not been here yet. Maybe they will one of these days. I went in one gym one year, and they had them up there. We won football. We won the district in football. We won the district in track. I didn't fall down, John. We were just in last place when I got the baton. By about 60 yards. Anyway, you know, the coaches, you know, we won that. We went to the state championship and got beat by Conway. But I had a ball doing it. Got to play in Barton Coliseum. It's almost as big as this place. You know, this is a beautiful facility. By my count, there are fewer than 100 members in the Hall of Fame. Now, I went through and I counted like 1, 2, 3, 4. I really did. So if I miscounted, if there's 101, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? When you walk down the hall, last time I was here and introduced my dad's team, I walked down the hall and I saw those great athletes in there, and I said, man, I'd sure like to be there. And I'll tell you what, folks, I'm humbled tonight. And let me tell you something else. There's thousands of athletes that probably deserve it just as much as I do. Who came to, thousands of athletes came to Rogers High School that probably deserve it just as much as I do. So, you know, I'm humbled by that too. this is not the highlight of my life. June 14th, 1980, and May 11th, 1986 are the highlight. They're really the red letter, circle your calendar days. June 14th, 1980, Kathy Franzoni became Kathy Franzoni Skaggs. And May 11th, 1986, she gave birth to Andrew Isaac. A little about our coaches. I don't know if I'm running late or what. Tell you a little bit about Coach Bond, from my standpoint. Coach Bond put me in the first car. In 1974, I'm looking for a job. I got one. I'm starting out at Catholic High School for boys. I don't have a car. Okay, Coach Bond brought me up. I got that 69 Oldsmobile out there. Going by. Coach, I don't know if I can afford it. Yeah, you can. Pay me $75 a month. Every month, if you don't have it, pay me when you can. Sounds like a deal, Coach. So I went over there, and Coach Tiller and Coach Bond were in his house. And I guess Coach Tiller didn't witness or whatever. That's how I got my first car. 1969 Delta 88. No telling how fast you could get between from Little Rock to Rogers and that thing. District track meet. I'm still stepping out on the track, last leg on third leg on that mile relay. And Coach Bond over there right behind the wire, and he says, come on, Ike Skaggs, got a piece of tin on the line. And I said, okay. So I thought to myself, Coach Bond thinks I can do it. Well, we'll see what we can do. So after we won the relay, and after it was over, I congratulated Peter Pepper, who was our sophomore anchor, and he said, Ike, he said, you were running for the lead. I was running for my life. Coach Llewellyn taught us fundamentals. He taught us how to stay on side. He had a little honeysuckle bush. Magic Hankins probably remembers that. He jumped off sides and had to go get him some honeysuckle. I used a version of that all through my career. But the funniest thing was I was coaching middle school ball about 2 years before I retired. I got mad at this kid. We didn't have any honeysuckle bushes. I got mad at him, just kept jumping, and he was being lazy. It was hot out there. You know how 7th, 8th graders are. I said, man, go up there and run around that telephone pole. The telephone pole was probably about maybe 80, 100 yards away. And we were doing board drills, and I came back and said, hey, what's up with you, man? You know, I came back and we went through it. It's about to be his turn. I'm like, where's mine? I said, Coach, and this is the honest truth. If I'm lying, I'm dying. They said, Coach, he's up there circling that telephone pole. I said, why on earth is he doing that? They said, because you didn't tell him to come back. And that is the truth. I'm not making that up, not one bit. So, between Coach Bond, Coach Llewellyn, Coach Brown, Coach Dyer, Coach Bryan, Coach Jesse Butler, Coach Carter, Coach Bland, I had an absolutely marvelous background or foundation for coaching and teaching. And I firmly believe, young ladies, I'm speaking to you right now, I firmly believe that being a teacher and coach is a calling. It's not just a job, okay? So if you're thinking about it, I would encourage you to think along those lines. Again, I deeply appreciate this honor. It's wonderful. And it's wonderful to be in this facility. It's not like playing in Thursday Gym. And out there, it's not like playing at the old Mountain Stadium. And I'll just say one thing, go Big Blue.
All right, our final inductee tonight will be Scott Swerrington, and he will be introduced by Coach Carlton Efer.
Well, since Coach Kruger's been recognized, I want to recognize him too here tonight because back in 1994-95, we were trying to start some junior high athletic programs that we didn't have in the school at the time. And we had a committee, and he asked me to come and convince the committee that, we needed to start, junior high cross country. So I told the committee with Coach Kruger and then I said, if the football team is recruiting the same kind of kids that I need for cross country, the football team's in trouble. So I don't think we're going to be sharing athletes. And I was thankful that the committee started junior high cross country because Scott was on the beginning class of that when my wife was teaching that at Elmwood, and she was recruiting kids left and right out of Johnson, and then the kids started coming in. So she was a big key to helping us get kids out during that time. So thank you for that, Coach Cooper, getting that going. And Becky told me a little bit of a funny story about Scott when he was running there. One of her first team T-shirts she made was kind of maybe feminine, a little bit on the girls' side. I don't know, the boys were afraid to wear it, and they all had it covered up for the first paper. She finally convinced Scott, would you believe, he was willing to let this shirt show the T-shirt. So the rest of the team, weren't afraid to do that. She just thought that was funny that, Scott was even a leader back then, trying to get the kids to participate and do the team activities. When Scott joined our team in high school, we had, the only team that had beaten us was Bryant in that 9-year span. And Russell had just beat us in 1997 by 2 points, and Scott came in at the right time. As a sophomore, he took a leadership role immediately, and he was an all-state runner all 3 years that he ran for me. He qualified for the Foot Locker cross-country championships. He was all-conference and track and a mile and 2 mile. He ended up joining the team, the Mountaineers at Western State, which was fitting because he was a mountain drew then in the state of mountain. So he graduated with a business degree in with a marketing emphasis, and was on 2 national championship teams in college while I was there. And Western State had a fantastic tradition as well at that time. And he was All-American for 2 different years while he ran for the Mountaineers. So the thing that I remember about Scott was just leadership. If I would, sum one thing up, he was a natural leader for our team. Like I said, we weren't probably the best team on the front runners back then. Eric Gross and Mountain Home had a really good team. They had 3 guys that we had a hard time competing with. But as a team, Scott helped us. He was the glue basically to our team, and his work ethic was impeccable. We did mile repeats down at Lake Atlanta, and I think Scott does have the record for the most times throwing up after practice because he pushed himself so hard. And I almost felt sorry because I was like, golly, but that's just the way it was. And he was the pretty. If the team didn't have a great workout, I remember one time he was frustrated that the guys weren't working as hard as they should. And he said, that is not the Mountie way. And when a player says that stands out probably more sometimes than a coach. And that's one thing that I remember about Scott. And Coach Parker told a story about when he won, I believe it was one of the Mountaineer Classic. He said we had over at Veterans Park. It was snowing, sleeting, ice, freezing cold, but man, I didn't face Scott. He came in with icicles all over his face, coming out and then, won the race, and just tough. He was just a tough competitor. And that's probably why I like going to Gunnison, the cold weather, fit right in with what he did here at Rogers. So, I can't get away with this since Kruger sitting right here. It wasn't perfect, by the way. There was a discipline incident his first year that he was here. It involved whitey tidies and run around the school or something like that. I know Kruger had to get on to him for something. I don't know exactly what the punishment was, but I think it was a freshman initiation. But he told me, don't let him get away without doing that. And while Kruger's sitting here too, I will say this, that, when I first started coaching the girls team, we made a big t-shirt with a flower, with stomping on the flower, and the title on the back shirt said, "Fast girls have better times." Well, I didn't ask for permission to make that t-shirt, because I probably knew Kruger wouldn't approve it. But when those girls started wearing that first meet, he comes storming in our room. "Hey, you give me permission to make that shirt." And I was like, what's wrong with it? He said, "You know that has a dual meaning." I said, "Well, I mean it in a good way." But he went a little less firm that year, but he did, so that was nice. They kept now I'm really proud that Scott is joining the Mountaineer Hall of Fame. The Swerrington family was so supportive of him. In fact, Rebecca down for me, Russ, his cousin, ran, and they've just been a fantastic supporter of us all these years. So Scott, come on up here.
Thank you, Coach. To the committee, thank you for selecting me. This is an unbelievable honor. Thank you for all your planning. It's a lot of hard work. Also, I'd like to thank Rogers High School for hosting this event tonight, and all the staff that had a hand in the planning, the cleaning, and everything else. I'd also like to say thank you to our sponsors. Mr. Kruger, Doug, Morgan, and I, congratulations. It's truly an honor to stand with each of you as a member of the class of 2021 Rogers Mountaineer Hall of Fame. Just like I said, it truly was unexpected to be selected into this group that includes a lot of the names of my childhood idols and legends. It's so humbling. I'm incredibly fortunate to have grown up in Rogers and going to Rogers Public Schools. The support from the community, the teachers, the administration was incredible. In fact, Mr. Kruger was so supportive. There were a few runs where he really wanted to know all about them. They were very adventurous runs and exciting runs, but Mr. Kruger always wanted to know about those, so appreciate your support. You truly do have the best community in schools one could ask for. I'd like to mention a few people that had an influence on me becoming a runner. My earliest memories of wanting to become a runner, getting interested in it, was due to my Aunt Nancy Swerrington. She was a PE teacher at Eastside. She opened a lot of doors for me through her passion, through her promotion competition. She encouraged me and everyone else to do our best day in and day out. She placed emphasis on the Presidential Fitness Challenge, kind of set the stage for me, the mile run. For encouraging us to stay active while making it fun, I want to thank you. Also want to thank Kim Mason at Frank Tillery Elementary. Her passion in creating an environment where PE was fun and something that I look forward to every single day. It's amazing. Whether it's jumping rope, running, she too had a way for bringing out the best of her students in her students. Like Coach mentioned at Elmwood, I ran for Becky Eford. She stepped in as the first head coach and got that program up and running. She coached both the boys and the girls. At that time, having a lady step up and take that position was just amazing. Later on, Jay Miles came in, and I need to thank him as well. I believe he joined in my 9th grade year. we were running, getting toward the end of the races, you'd always see Becky and Jay right there again, encouraging us to finish strong. I know for a fact that they enjoyed winning as much or more than I did. Also at Elmwood, I need to thank Shane Compton and Seymour Barker. Their support of the teams was simply amazing. Words of encouragement, not only at the races, but the days leading up to the races meant a lot. Also at Elmwood, I need to thank Coach Walsh and Coach Packus for quickly realizing that my time and efforts would be much better placed on the track and not on the football field. Well, at Elmwood, we started to have some good success. We were winning races. We won our conference. Same year, 97, Rogers High was struggling a little bit. They had got hit by the injury bug a little bit leading up to the state meet. I was lucky enough to get called up to run for the varsity team as a 9th grader while at Elmwood. That experience was one that I will forever remember. Those weeks leading up to the race, training with it not only in the mornings, which I had been doing, but getting to go over in the afternoons was just awesome. Such a great experience. That year, like Coach mentioned, Russellville ended up winning, but we finished second, which was a place ahead where we were ranked behind Fayetteville. We were led by running in Raul Torres. He was an excellent captain, accepted me in. I can tell you as a freshman coming in, that was such a good thing. Like Coach mentioned, 1998, 1999, we won state championships. That team was amazing. Those teams were amazing. Day in and day out, we were battling it out around Lake Atlanta, down across Halls Road. Had teammates like Jake Conley, David Salinas, Jeff Castro, Jorge Andrade, Francisco Andrade, Matt De Los Santos, Nick Slagle. Those guys were amazing. They made it easy to want to run hard, and they made it easy to want to win. We almost didn't get in 2000. Fell short 2 points to a red hot Mountain Home team led by Eric Brooks, like Coach mentioned. He was quite the runner. He had the state record for the mile for 20 years. It just got broken last year, which, to be honest with you, I was glad to see that get broken. Moving over to track, in 1999, we were hosting the conference meet. We were behind Fayetteville by 21.5 points with 2 events remaining. We had the 2-mile and the 4x4. Believe it or not, about a month before that at the 90 relays, we were in a similar position. We weren't quite as back as much. I think we were down 15 points. Came back and beat them. So we knew there was a chance. The 2-mile run, Coach came over and said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to run toward the front and we're going to run as a group. That's exactly what we did. We ran right behind Matt Hill from Russellville. He ended up winning. I got second, Matt De Los Santos third, Big Slagle fifth. Josh Stokes was 6th. So we scored 17 points. That moved us to within 4.5 of Fayetteville for the 4x4. We had to beat them by 3 or 4 places. Beating Fayetteville in 4x4 by 3 or 4 places is a big ask, no matter what the year. Our 4x4 team, they consisted of Hunter Helms, Eli Hill, Doug Shrance, and it was Chris Bobbitt. Hunter got out hard, got to the lead. Eli and Doug kept us right there, and Chris Bobbitt anchored home. We finished second, ran 3:28. Fayetteville did not place. We won 107.5 to 104. It's one of my all-time favorite memories. Coach Spencer, I need to say thank you. You had a knack for bringing together sprinters, distance runners, and throwers. Been around track teams, you know that that's not always the case, so thank you, Coach. Coach Heford, thank you. You made it easy to want to win, and you can make it happen. It's such an honor to run for you. You cared for your runners. You knew how to get people to run to their best at the best time of the year. You know how to motivate and encourage runners. You have an approach that is backed with experience and proven track records that can't help but want to win with him. Compete at the highest levels, including winning a national championship with Coach John McDonald. I think that was his first title. For all those doors you opened for me, Coach, thank you. To my family, I can't thank you enough. Susie and Abby, I know I would not be here if it weren't for you today. I wouldn't be here today. Sorry. Rachel, Becky, and your families, thank you for all of your encouragement over the years. It means a lot. To my parents, thank you. You instilled a strong work ethic in all of us that translated into success, both in athletics and outside of athletics. Your support, cooking team meals, travel, putting up with all of us, thank you. To be placed in this Hall of Fame with this group and those that came before us, including Coach Kruger, including my dad, David Swerrington, is something that I will forever be grateful for and proud of. And for that, thank you. Thank you to everyone here tonight.
Did that the last time you came up here. You can't be stealing my notes. So, okay, hey, let's give the class of 2020.